Okay, hi, this is David. This is a quick tutorial on Audacity. This is a piece of software that can be found on the internet at audacityteam.org/download. Download the version that you need for your system. I've used it for many years. It's a safe program to use and relatively easy. Okay, so let's get into the easy part. So once you download and open it, looks like this. And this is sort of the blank Audacity screen here. And my technique is to open up some tracks. These are basically empty spaces that I could then put audio into. And I use stereo tracks. And I usually use at least 2 and optimally 3. And the reason I might use 3 is because different tracks I have might have sort of different strengths and modulations. I might want to keep all my vocals down here and my songs go back and forth up here. But let me show you what I mean by that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to save this project. Okay, we're going to save it. We're going to give it a name, and we're going to save it. Okay, that way it's got a name. We can always come back to it, and then we can open up some files. And sometimes you can grab your previous files. I'll go ahead and grab a piece that was recorded for us. You may hear on the air from time to time.
This is Ralph Nader. You're listening to Brattleboro Community. This is Ralph Nader.
So let's just pretend I wanted to use that in my piece of audio that I was creating. Maybe I'm just putting together my entire show. Maybe I just want to create a little sub-pack of public service announcements. So instead of playing 5 things in the little segment I want, I could just play one thing and I'll have prepped it so it's just one way. Okay, so I can go into the file by clicking into it. This is the area of the toolbar you want to be using, the selection tool. The other tools do different things. I'll show you them later. But the selection tool is a nice benign way to click on the file. And then, what I like to do is use Control-A to copy everything, actually to select everything, and then Control-C to copy it. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to my test, which is right here. So here's test, and I'm going to paste now, Control-V, and there's Ralph Nader in there. I could do a bunch of different ways to bring files in. Like you just saw, I can also just drag and drop them straight out of iTunes. I can import them out of a folder. I can go anywhere in my computer to find the files I need to be able to put together whatever I'm trying to do. In this case, right now, I'm going to actually import 2 things I just downloaded. Let's see if I can find them. There we go. So this is something that I solicited a number of years ago, 10 or more years ago.
Okay, right. This is Kabaka Pyramid represent.
You may have heard it on my show. It's Kabaka Pyramid. He's won the Grammy last year for Best Reggae Album, and 10 years ago when I had him make this for me, or asked him to make this for me, I would have told you that eventually this guy will win a Grammy. So that's a track he gave me without any audio on it, or without any musical background. So I'm going to add some musical background to it. And so for the sake of argument, I'm going to jump over to another side and drag something in, an audio piece that I got earlier in the day. So I'm just for fun, line it up with the audio profile that I'm looking at, and then I'll go around and play with the audio. So we'll start it from the beginning and we'll see what this sounds like.
You got that fire, man. Think Messiah.
All right, sorry for chomping on an M&M. So let's just say this section right here is full of like maybe some mumbling and stuff I don't really want on the song in this remake I'm making. So I'm just gonna, I'm using the selection tool, and I'm just sort of dragging across this file, and you can see I've selected this chunk, and I'm going to go Control X or Apple X or whatever it is, and I'm going to cut it out. So now it'll sound like this. Okay, so my beat comes in a little sooner. It's a little more direct. So I'm going to put this right here too. So see if I get the voice to drop right with the rhythm.
Okay, right, this is Kabaka Prem representing for One Drop Reggae Radio. Yeah, man, the weekly ride through the world of Jamaican music.
Let's just pretend I love it and the levels are everything I ever wanted. I'm going to go cut off the end of it, right? So I don't want this to be super long. It's already about a minute long. So let's try to trim it down to being a minute long. This is where I'll teach you some of the tools that are up here before, and I don't want to get too complicated, but sometimes when you're trying to line up where a minute is, it's nice to see it right there. If you hover, it shows a line, but you can also zoom in. So we can zoom in and see where a minute is. I know I want to cut off that little piece of empty stuff there, and I want to cut off this stuff. And let me just see how this ends now.
Accurate.
Okay, that's not bad. Let's just say that that's how I want it. I can zoom back out. I can see that I've got a little bit of space at the beginning, and then it ends pretty closely after.
Accurate.
All right, there's my 1 minute PSA or jingle. And now what I would like to do, I can go back and save it, although I've renamed it and everything. I don't really want to do that at this exact moment because I can actually go straight to export as MP3. And this export, I can rename. I can call it what I need it to be. Let's just call it test, since I think I called it test earlier. And so now it has a name, and it's in my downloads folder as an MP3, and I can now upload it, let's just say, into my Google folder that's with the radio station. That will also pull my program, but now people who are managing our tech can grab that file and drop it into the station IDs file or into the public service announcement for upcoming events file, or you can put it into your folder file so that your 2-hour MP3 that you just created is something that can be then broadcast. Hope that you find this helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if there's things you want to do that I didn't talk about here. There's a couple tricks further on, so there will be more of these.